Hello and welcome back. Today I would like to talk about higher self, what it means, how it communicates, how it guides, and what different society looks at it, and what my view on it is like. So if you have been around spiritual community, circles, new age stuff, or any channel teaching or messages from channeling itself, you would most likely come across this term called the higher self. And it's usually in regards to the highest version that you are in the above, in the energetics, and not in the physical. The physical we know in other names as the lower self, which itself has other different attributes and labels to it as well, known as conscious mind, ego, personalities, conditioned self, the false self. But today's topic is not about the lower self. Today's topic is the higher self. Higher self come in many different flavor and names as well, due to the different culture, society, civilization, and time period that this name come about and people needed something to attribute to it. Most commonly known in the modern society is it's called a soul, a spirit, and that's it. But if you dig deeper into different time frames and different culture, it comes in different flavor as well. For instance, oversoul is used in Hindu is Atman. In Dolores canon, it's called the subconscious mind or the SC, but this is not regards to the psychology of the Freudian psychology, right? Then we got let me see my list, the I am present, the divine spark, the higher mind, and I love the most of all is the test. It's called the true energetic self, TES, by Guy Stephen Needler from his channel works, right? So those would cover enough ground to give you an idea what I am saying or speaking about in regards to the higher self. Because you might have one label and I have another label. Actually, they are in the same region of the same thing. So you can actually link them and understand what I'm talking about. So now I want to tell you what it is. It's basically the highest version of you that is residing outside the universe of the matrix, that is not within the human experiment or within the matrix. The matrix usually is known as the 12th dimensional construction of frequency of energy that we exist in. Currently, the human existence and its planets, which is Mother Earth right now, exist in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. But most of modern society, as in the human race, live somewhere in the 3rd. But we are slowly rising to the 4th, and very minute amount is actually reaching 6th, and 5th and 6th actually. So it's just different state of awareness and consciousness as you rise. As you rise, your ability to see stuff in expansive mode grows further rather than the limitation and limited view of the 3D, 2D, and 1D. It's just state of mind, state of consciousness. That's how I see things, right? So your higher self exists outside of this matrix, which is this experiment, which is this universe. It sends a spark of itself down within and insert itself inside a universe or matrix to actually learn, grow, expand, and basically know who it is, as in answering the age-old question, who I am, right? This is a process of fractalization, which is the fractalization of light. To become a tiny bits of it to be sent out for learning different school, different rooms, right? To imagine how your higher self look like, it's essentially a big ball of light. Imagine a big, white, bright ball of light. You are that big, bright ball. That's your higher self. And at the end of it, the highest version of yourself, as in where the bucket ends, is God, or i.e. source, depending on your terminology, or the divine, doesn't really matter. Because at the end, it comes from the spark itself which got fractalized itself into the multiple. From that multiple, it fractalized again into the multiples. So you got all different version things, from inanimate to animate, from less sentient to more sentient, from more conscious to less consciousness. Essentially, God wanted to experiment and experience it all. So now we will be talking about guidance, how it actually comes and guides the lower self, which is the incarnate, as in the 3D self, right? It will come as a sort of understanding, a gut feeling, an intuition, a knowing, or a synchronicity of some sort. You feel it deeply if you're sensitive enough with your emotional body, and you can sense the guidance throughout the body. You can actually develop and practice this sensation on yourself. It's not hard, it's just need time to actually experiment on and actually take a notice. What you need is actually stillness in meditation more to actually gain this ability. It's not hard, everyone have access to it, it's your birthright. So, your higher self is able to see from the highest perspective in all the timeline, in all the event spaces of everything and anything you have signed up for. It's basically standing on the highest peak of a mountain, and you as an incarnate on the lowest point of frequency of existence. So it can actually guide you through wherever you need to go if the incarnate listens. And of course, the incarnate has free will, and will always have free will. Can always disregard, disobey the higher self, which is where all we get into all the different troubles that we did not sign up for, but eventually we went in and caused all the pain and suffering when we are unconscious or unknowingly or unaware to cause harm to other beings or other entities. And that causes karmic relationship, which is essentially means that action have consequences. Action always have consequences. It's just another term for the karmic relationship. Now we move on to the dynamics of having a soul/spirit to God. This is usually the simplest model that everyone should follow if you're not inclined to the analytical side of things, or you do not want to know the full detail of the world. Having this or knowing this relationship and cultivating this relationship of a spirit connecting back to God is more than enough to actually connect you to the higher realm, to the higher frequency, and lovingly guiding you back into the realm of love, of unconditional love, light, and joy. For most people, this is enough. But if you want something more detailed, something more analytical, and you really want something that is the whole picture and not just the simplistic picture of how higher self works or how reality works, I would suggest you to study and find out the works of Guy Stephen Midler. The guy channeled a lot and a ton of content in regards to the structure of existence itself. And to be honest, not many people need to know nor understand the existence nor the structure of the universe, because essentially you come here to experience everything. You do not need to understand how you experience things. You just really want to just go through, basically everything is ordered and ordained or contracted. You just want to go through the experience. But for people like me, who really wanted to understand the whole thing itself and how different part works, how different frequency realm works, right? Guy Stephen Midler is the guy that you should go for this information, just to put him out there if you're interested. At the end, the bucket ends with the source, God, the ultimate self, the supreme self. Whatever label you want to put it, it doesn't really matter. At the end, we are part of that one light, one self, as we fractalize into multiple layers downwards to experience from the higher realm into the lower realm. Because the highest realm is already explored, it's hard to actually gain experience point. Imagine like a game server, you're playing a game. In the highest level, everything is explored. But the differences is the lower level one. We are talking in the frequency range of 1 to 5, for instance, which human race now, we drop in frequency. We are from the third raising it back to the 5, and it will be locked back to the 5, right? So this is what I talk about, the lower experiential range that we willingly drop so low below to actually experience these differences in energy. Basically the range improves and expands. You can from the very negative to the very positive, and you can be somewhere in the middle as well without any issue. So that is all for this video. If you like what I've been sharing, discussing right here in this video, do give me a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell button so you get more updates from me. Thank you very much again for your time, attention, and energy in watching this video. I'll see you soon in the future. Bye bye.